Now, here we are at the top of a hill at the site, and over here we have an even larger hill going up, and on the top of that hill, in the distance, the hill appears to be terraced in several layers, and also there's on the very top, it's a large stone with a snake motif carved on the side. It's a geometrical form similar to Quetzalcoatl from Mexico and Central America. Now this valley, I feel, may have been altered, because this whole hill over here appears to be altered. But that's for another day. We're going to look down here. As we come down the side of the hill into the valley, this was at one time, not too distant past, pasture land, and it was planted with beech trees in the 60s, so most of these you see here, and especially just to the north of here. We also have some fairly old growth pine trees in here as well, white pines, 100 years or more old, maple trees. Now, out of the side of this hill, on the opposite side, you see many stones covered with plaster. Now, it's most unusual. Both sides of the hill seems to be covered with a lining of stone, a lot of it anyways. Maybe not the whole hill, but a great deal of the hill. And especially in the lower sections down here, a lot of the stones are covered with a white plaster. And this white plaster is, it can occur naturally, but it seems unusual in light of everything else. I think that shows evidence of more human working in the distant past. We're looking down into the valley here. You see down over there, there are very, very large stones on the opposite side, which has an equally large cut. It appears to be at least enhanced by people in the distant past. I don't know if we can get a shot, but the whitish rocks down there are actually, when examined, covered with a plaster. And not sure why this would be so. I haven't seen it in other sites on southern Ontario, but I do know it is possible to occur naturally. I'll continue going down. And you can see here how the hill on the opposite side is tapered up, and then there's a flat area here, and then it goes up, and another flat area, and then it goes up again. It's more apparent from the side, but as I said, that's a whole nother trek, because it's a large area. We are now about a kilometer north of where the small circle is and the other drilled rocks are. So this site covers quite a large area. We're pretty much down now, back to the level of the creek bed. And we head south again. And everything looks pretty normal in this section. We don't see, a lot of monuments of any kind or artifacts. It's pretty normal. And then just up here a little bit, we'll come across a transition zone. And you can see this is a well-traveled area through the forest, as the path attest to. So it's, this is sitting right underneath people's noses. And when I first came here a few years ago, when I was living in the area, I immediately thought this is most peculiar, because I've traveled extensively in Ontario to virtually every region except along the far north in Hudson's Bay area. But I visited most of the rest of the province, and there's nothing like what we see in this area. And we're just going to be there in just a few more seconds, where we see, now here's the first of a rock here. Now notice how this rock is like shaped and appears to be a boundary stone of some kind. And there's another one up on the hillside there. Okay, now we're coming up here, where we just cross, really the boundary is right here, and the vegetation changes as well. And we head back into the cedar forest, where it has been untouched. Now, long ago, in the early 19th century, there was a dam put across the creek here, which you see the remnants here. And you can see that the hillsides are carved out there, get dirt and material for the dam, which they have. That's what's left of it there. And there was a mill pond on this little creek. It's hard to imagine. But we're back again into the area of giant cedars, and we see in here, as I said, there's those two almost like boundary stones here, and we start coming across more stones, and and this shows that this area was never really worked. Large stones underneath the trees. Many other large stones here. This very unusually shaped stone here. Daniel Colas thought that probably these stones were all carved. Another large stone of unknown material. Now, here we come. Now, there's scatterings of stones in this area. I'm not going to visit them all, but it's just to give an idea just of what is in here. That stone there is highly magnetic. More stones here. And that stone has been moved recently, unfortunately. And that's made out of, again, that red magnetic material. And here's the remnants of another small 19th century dam in the area, and where the material was taken out of the side of the hill. Now, there are here, that rock here is highly magnetic, as is that one over there. Wow. Great many of the rocks have been tested with a variety of magnets. There's another rock standing in the forest, another magnetic rock. Another shot of that rock there. Hard to see it in there. And we're coming to pretty much the end of what this part of the tour is going to be about, but there's one last formation of stones that we must take a look at. We're just coming up to it here now. You can see, now here we are. This is really the end to, right around here where the ditch runs to. Just to the south of here, the ditch ends. And in that direction are what I call the stones that look like the position of the constellation of Orion. Now here we have another little circle of stones. Here, it goes around. And what is interesting, I find here, is this rock here. Certainly does look to me like a snake's head, because we have here an eye. The mouth heading up to the eye, flat-headed snake. Just get another perspective on it here. And that is the end of this section. I have one more section of the Great Stone Circle coming up.